What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 9. We start this off with a bid for Jensen, our Danish midfielder, who of course in this team has now become our third choice centre mid behind Josh De Silva and Onyeka. We rejected it was from Wolfsburg for 4.8 mil, and you would have seen in the last episode we had a bit of a Kanyos as well from the Belgian side, KAA again. Now whilst those two players have been dropped to the bench in favour of younger players in this team, or just players that I prefer, I said in the last episode I don't really want to sell too many players in our sort of like first team core, if you will. I don't mind one or two here or there, but for the most part I want to try and keep the core of the first 11 and also some better bench players here, at least for the very first season, to see out a debut year in the Premier League. However, I'm okay loaning players, and James Arnold out of the academy, as we know, looks pretty decent. We've given him a little bit of game time since coming out. He might not have a potential tag, but I imagine it is mid to high 70s. I think he's 66 overall. Bournemouth want to take him on a 2-year loan. We accept that deal, and I'm okay with that. I think he could develop quite nicely at the Vitality Stadium, especially if the Cherries were to get promoted to the Premier League. Still for the first game of today's episode on the back of the absolutely thrilling 8-goal thriller against Wolves, 4-4 in the Premier League, remaining here at home at the Community Stadium, now taking on Blackpool, newly promoted to the Championship this season. I think it was like a 6-year absence for them from the second tier, now back in the Championship this year. Obviously Blackpool have been under a roller coaster, fitting, right? Blackpool have been under a roller coaster for the past decade, gaining promotion to the Premier League with the Ian Holloway era, going back down, suffering major financial obscurity. A lot of Blackpool fans are crediting that to the poor ownership from Carl Oyston. So to see them back in the second tier after their promotion via the playoff final last year was really nice to see. But taking them on here, we were going to show no mercy. We wanted to get through to the FA Cup fourth round and continue a nice cup run like we had in the EFL Cup. We took the lead early in the first half through Mbuemo's deflected effort, but there was nothing lucky about this goal. Oh yeah, goal of the season, no doubt about it. And to be fair, I kind of preferred our breakaway against Southampton early on in the campaign, but Ivan Toney, with a stunning, shocking effort from range, catches the goalkeeper out from 30 yards. That was glorious, and he'd bag his brace in stoppage time as well. This one not quite as nice, but still a great goal from the shocker. I never made this his trademark celebration, by the way. I like the celebration, it's really cool, but that's an opportunity missed with Ivan Toney, and he doesn't miss many opportunities. We know that for sure. Our top scorer makes it 3-0 as we progress through to the fifth round of the FA Cup. But I definitely should have done that, made that the trademark celebration, the shocker. But still, 3 in the final score. What a brilliant goal from Toney for the second one there. And there we go. We are into the FA Cup last 16. So buzzing with that. That was the board objective given to us at the start of the season. So we've made it there. Delighted with that. And like in the EFL Cup, a nice cup run, exactly what we need right now with our league form being very poor. Still, James Arnold has indeed been loaned out again, just 17 years old. I really like this guy. I do. I think he's very good indeed. So we'll spend 2 years on the South Coast, hopefully develop there with the Championship side and get him back to the Premier League at the Vitality. And we'll see how he gets on. I'm really hoping that he has like a growth spurt at Bournemouth, and I don't just mean his height, because he's a small lad, but I hope he does have a growth spurt in his attributes. That would be fantastic. So again, I do think he has a future here at Brentford. And also as well, we had another bid for Rakitic, and we also changed the position of one of our youngsters in the academy, Frankie Benson, from midfielder to attacking midfielder. We'll give him the shadow striker development plan, and that will see him get the high attacking work rate he'll definitely need playing further up the pitch. So his transfer deadline day will come round, and the Rakitic deal fell through for the second time. We had just over 4.5 million in our transfer budget, and I was really trying to get the Danish centre-half out of the club, because again, he's like 7th choice centre-half here. He's not going to play, we know that, but unfortunately, whilst we were accepting the bids, he kept on turning down the contracts, and I was like, for goodness sake, bro, you're not going to get a game here. You might as well leave and apply your trade elsewhere. I think he just wants to stay and collect his paycheck week after week, but I did want a new centre-back on deadline day. I had 4 names on the shortlist. Speaking of Bournemouth, 2 Cherries players, Lloyd Kelly and also Chris Metham, the former Brentford youth grad. Ben Kapango was the one I really wanted from Swansea, and also Dale Fry from Middlesbrough, who I've signed many times before. Now, I had Metham in my QPR save last year, and he was really solid, and I asked Bournemouth if they'd want to take Rakitic as part of the deal, a young centre-half to replace the English-born Welsh centre-half, and 4 mil and a minor sell-on clause as well. And Bournemouth said, yeah, they accepted that deal right off the bat. So as we negotiated a contract with Chris Metham, as you'll notice here, I mentioned this before, when I'm doing contracts this year, I am trying to keep them relatively realistic. His agent was asking for a wage decrease, and I was like, really? Is that going to happen in real life when he's making a jump from the second tier to the top flight? I don't think so, really. So we gave him a minor wage increase to 20 grand a week, 5-year deal, and there he is. Chris Metham is back at Brentford. He came through the Brentford Academy. He was then sold on to Bournemouth. Since then, he's done well at a Vitality, full Welsh international, despite being born in London, but now we're getting him back to Brentford, a homegrown talent, youth academy prospect. Graduate Chris Metham is in, and I'm buzzing with that as well, because again, he's 24 years old, so not the youngest, but he's coming into his prime, if you will. He certainly will be in the mid to late 20s as a centre half, and at 73 overall as well. He's got enough to challenge the first team back three, and as we know, Pontus Jansson, despite being the captain, is 31 years old. His prime years are behind him. He'll probably be relegated to the bench for next season. Metham can definitely fill in for Jansson for next season. Zanka's being let go on a free as well. And then the other two centre-halves we've got are these guys here, Charlie Good and also Sorensen as well. They're too lowly rated to be starting Premier League games for us. I think the Metham signing makes total sense. He won't go straight into the back three, but he's the long-term successor for club captain Pontus Jansson. So we rejected some bids here on deadline day. A loan deal for Charlie Good from Stade Rennais, which I just couldn't understand. One for Fosu and also one for Mbuemo as well. PSV wanted him on deadline day, but I was like, lads, absolutely no way. He's not exactly been electric this season, but he has been one of our better players. So that would do it for transfer deadline day and a January transfer window as a whole. No major deals getting completed, but again, that's kind of what I wanted this first season with Brentford. And you see the top deals here as well. Talk about strengthening by Manchester City. Lautaro Martinez and Tapsoba coming in. They're literally strengthening their team with those two signings right there. But still, look at the academy as well. And as you can see, I mentioned this guy in the last episode, Sean Pratt. Looks like he could be, alongside Charlie Ball, one of our best youth academy prospects. He's a holding mid by trade, but with his stats and a 5-star weak foot as well. I love that. I think he could definitely be a centre-back in this team at 6'2". So going to phase him back from holding mid to centre-back and see how he adjusts to playing in his new position. But the academy's looking alright. You know, it's not a bad start for the academy. We get a young Welsh goalkeeper at the academy, Win. Jakobsen, as we know, is an exciting prospect despite the low amount of productivity. He does look pretty decent for the future. Again, I like James Arnold now going out on loan to Bournemouth. And again, the two lads in the academy there, Bohr and also the new man Pratt, they look pretty decent for the future too. So there's no like standout stars coming out of the academy just yet, but some decent players for the future. So regardless of what division we're in next season, as you can see right now in 15th place, 15 games to go, and we're currently just 1 point off Southampton in the bottom three. There definitely is reasons to be optimistic for the future with Brentford, if not many for the present at the moment, as we continue to struggle. And so look at our fixtures for February. As you can see, 4 games coming in. Man City away is the starting game. The champions, Crystal Palace at home, the Gunners away, and the Magpies as well. We did have a draw for the FA Cup quarter-final in the last 16, as you can see, in the 5th round of the FA Cup. We've got Swansea City away from home, taking on lads from Wales at the Liberty Stadium. So once again, 3rd straight tie against the Championship side, 2 of which coming away from home. Swansea in Wales, FA Cup, last 16, and again, a really great chance to progress to the quarterfinals of a domestic cup for the 2nd time this season, and that is exactly what we need right now with our struggles in the Premier League. And speaking of the second game of today's episode, one of the most difficult games of the campaign, we're away from home against the champions Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, and it took just 16 minutes for us to fall behind. Knowing it would be a tough night here in the Northwest, Raheem Sterling drills in a cutback as the former Liverpool man makes it 1-0 to the host. So Man City in front right before the break, a chance for them to double it as well. Ferran Torres turns Ethan Pinnock inside out, and then oh my goodness gracious me, now you saw the Ivan Toney goal against Blackpool. That's a contender for goal of the season, as is this one. Ferran Torres with this skill turns Ethan Pinnock inside out, then drags it back to beat David Raya, and then puts it past Rico Henry on the line. That was sensational from the Spaniard. Man City 2, Brentford 0, and 20 minutes after the restart it became 3. Phil Foden, one of the best young English talents in the game, drills it past David Raya, our Spanish goalkeeper, makes it 3-0. And unlike in the reverse fixture against Man City, where we were under a lot of pressure but defended really well and only lost the game by a goal to nil to a KDB penalty, This was not the same sort of game. Absolutely dominated in this one, and with 17 minutes to go. The new boy Lautaro Martinez offloads to Ferran Torres as the Spaniard gets his second of the game, makes it 4-0, and that was how the game would finish. All I'll say is this: thank God for our cup runs this season, because otherwise the fans, and I'm sure the board, would have lost patience. Another big defeat. Yes, we were massive underdogs anyway, but no real positives to take from the performance. 4-0 away in the Northwest, and as we somehow stay above the drop zone, as you'll see by the league table in just a moment's time, it just seems like it's only a matter of time now before we're back in the bottom three. We slipped to 16th place, we're only above Southampton by a point still, and with 14 games to go, lowest scorers in the league, it just seems inevitable at some point we'll be back in the relegation zone. But that was this episode of Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, if you hadn't, please drop a like. Much love to you all, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.